Morning, everyone. Welcome to the May 13th, 2025 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We are glad you are with us. And for those watching online, we are glad you are with us as well. We will begin, as we always do, with an invocation, and Reverend David Clifford from Henderson First Christian Church is with us. Please stand.
Thank you, Judge. Will you pray with me, please? Gracious God, we thank you for this opportunity to be gathered and for these leaders to serve our community. I ask that you grant them wisdom in their discussions, clarity in their decisions, and compassion in all of their actions. May we each lead this community with integrity. May we seek the common good, and may these leaders honor the trust that we have placed in them. We ask you, God, to bless all those who call Henderson home and to guide us in building a future marked by justice, peace, and shared prosperity. It's in Christ's name we pray all this. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you please call the roll?
Manager Southard?
Here.
Manager Tompkins?
Yes, sir.
Manager Putman?
Here.
Manager Starks?
Here.
Manager Berry?
Here.
Gentlemen, you have before you in your packet the April 22nd minutes from our fiscal court and also the May 1st special called meeting minutes. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
I move to approve both sets of minutes, Judge.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other clarifications, additions, corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We have a busy schedule, and we'd like to start it off by inviting Christian Klaus, who's principal of the Green Unit at Henderson County High School, to introduce our Judges Scholar.
Thank you, Judge. Henderson County High School is proud to select Anna Carrier as our 2025 Henderson County Judges Scholar. While at HCHS, Anna has demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to her education, maintaining a GPA above 4.0 while balancing multiple extracurricular activities. Her academic prowess is evident through her involvement in AP courses, where she's achieved scores of 4 on both AP Statistics and AP Chemistry, among others. She is proudly signed the ACT 30 Plus wall at HCHS this year. Additionally, she participated in the Kentucky Governor Scholar Program at Center College this past summer, which is evidence of her exceptional achievement, as less than 1,000 students from all of Kentucky are selected each year. Beyond her academic achievements, Anna has also been an active participant in various extracurricular activities, including the mock trial team, where she has taken on roles as both a witness and attorney. Her leadership skills shine through her positions as a class officer in the student council, and she is an establishing member of the science club at HCHS. Additionally, she was team captain of the cross-country team, where she has demonstrated resilience and teamwork and essential qualities for all aspiring leaders. After high school, Anna will attend the University of Evansville to major in actuary science and pre-law, with future aspirations of attending law school. Her long-term goals of practicing geriatric and real estate law, along with her ambition to become a juvenile court judge and eventually a county judge, illustrate a profound commitment to serving her community and advocating for justice. Anna Carrier is a model student and citizen, which makes her the perfect choice for HCHS's Judges Scholar. Her academic achievements, leadership qualities, and community involvement make her a standout individual who is dedicated to making a positive impact in the legal field. We look forward to welcoming her back to Henderson someday, where she can continue to serve in her hometown. Anna Carrier.
Wow, what an endorsement.
Wow.
Anna, I'll meet you right up.
Follow that one up, Judge.
After that incredible introduction, we're going to read a proclamation in your honor.
Whereas Anna Carrier has been chosen by the Henderson County High School to be the recipient of the Judges Scholar Award for exceptional efforts in both academics and school activities, and whereas Anna's hard work and dedication in making the most of educational experiences and developing positive relationships with teachers and other students will lead to future success. And whereas success is measured in many different ways, whether it be passing a test, scoring the winning point, achieving a particular goal, or taking the necessary steps for overall improvement, and whereas the Henderson County school system could not let Anna's efforts go unnoticed, and whereas the Henderson County Fiscal Court supports the school system and acknowledges these accomplishments as being significant because students such as Anna will be our future leaders. And now, therefore, Brad Schneider, County Judge Executive of Henderson, join with the Henderson County Fiscal Court to proclaim today, May 13th, 2025, as Anna Carrier Day here in Henderson County.
We need help taking pictures, and if the family wants to go, let's take one, if you don't mind, and just Anna and me, and we'll, anybody who'd like to. We'll make sure Mr. Cross will get that to the schools, your coach, so come right up and I'll do a picture. I don't know if my wife criticizes my picture. I do my best. No, if you don't, family and Mr. Cross, get up here. Hey, family member, this one's for your collection. All right. Okay. Congratulations, Anna. I know your parents and your teachers and all the administrators at County High are very proud of you. And as a proud University of Evansville alumnus, I completely approve of your college choice. I think you'll really enjoy it. So now you get to sit back and watch how this is done. Steve Gold is going to be your color commentator over there. So if you have any questions, ask him, but resist the urge to cast votes or make motions. I know it can be tough sometimes, but just fight that urge and you'll have a good time. Okay, we have a lot of rote business to take care of, and I'm going to ask, thank you, Chip.
I apologize, Nick.
That's all right. Is he messing with you? I'm going to ask Hunter Phillips to come up and join us. We have some kind of technical work to get done for WARM. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'll need a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
If motion is second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So with that, Hunter, I'll let you introduce our first bit of business here, the closeout.
Yeah, thank you. Like you said, my name's Hunter Phillips. I'm from GRAD. So the purpose of this meeting is to provide information regarding the closeout process for the Henderson County Regional Recovery Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG Project 24004, for the 24-25 funding cycle. The Center for Addiction Recovery of Henderson, Inc., Women's Addiction Recovery Manor, or WARM, has been in existence for 18 years. The center houses over 100 women on a daily basis. CDBG funds for $190,000 were utilized to pay staff salaries, as has been done since the center opened. Funds used for the original construction of WARM consisted of low-income tax credits, home funds, affordable housing trust funds, and funding through the Federal Home Loan Bank of Cincinnati. Funds used to house the women and pay utilities include funds from the Department of Corrections and Section 8 vouchers. With this being said, are there any comments or questions from the court or the audience concerning the closing of the 2024-2025 round of funding?
And to add a little of that, this is something we do every year. It's money in, money out for the court. We are technically the applicant each year, and closing out is part of our responsibilities. Any questions? As per state requirements, I'm going to ask if anybody from the public would like to make any statements about this. I have to ask 3 times, so here's number 2. Anybody? And 3 strikes. And we're out. Okay. We need to make a motion to come out of public hearing.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Do we need a vote to close out? No. Okay. Next, we're going to have to go into public hearing on their new application for the coming year, so I'll entertain a motion for that.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hunter?
All right. The purpose of this public hearing is to provide information to the public concerning the proposed Henderson County Regional Recovery Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, project for the 2025-2026 funding cycle. This public hearing also serves to inform low and moderate income communities that technical assistance is available through the Green River Area Development District in developing grant proposals for the CDBG program. There are four main types of CDBG projects: public facilities, economic development, housing, and community facilities. The Center for Addiction Recovery of Henderson, Inc., Women's Addiction Recovery Manor, or WARM project, is funded through the Recovery Kentucky program. Originally, this program constructed a recovery facility to provide assistance to approximately 100 females recovering from alcohol and substance abuse. WARM is one of 10 recovery centers constructed in Kentucky. Since the facility opened, over 5,000 clients have been served. It has been recommended by the Department of Local Government to make an application for $200,000 for 2025-2026. These funds will be used for staff salaries and operating costs. Block grant funds are obtained through the Housing and Urban Development Administration, and therefore the Uniform Displacement Act applies to this project. However, no residents will be displaced due to the activities of this project. For a copy of the Uniform Displacement Act, an individual can contact the Green River Area Development District or the Kentucky Department for Local Government. And with this being said, are there any comments or questions from the quarter audience concerning the 2025-2026 application?
CDGB, what's that stand for?
Community Development Block Grant.
Thank you.
Just a comment, the Warm Center's done a fantastic job. You know, there's people that's come out of that. I believe, Sheriff, we got a deputy that went through the program out there, and others that's went on to get their life straight and do quite well. So appreciate everything, and that grant's well used.
Any other questions? I'll also ask the public for, I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask, is the amount of the grant about the same as it has been, or?
Yes, it's the same amount. They have $190,000 goes straight to WARM, and the other $10,000 is for the administration of the grant.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else from the audience like to make any comments about this grant application? Anyone else? Going? Anyone else? Gone. I'll entertain a motion to come out of public hearing, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This is one we will have to vote on, and we'll have a resolution, please.
Whereas Henderson County Fiscal Court wishes to apply for funding from the Community Development Block Grant Recovery Kentucky program for the purpose of funding the Center for Addiction Recovery of Henderson Incorporated Women's Addiction Recovery Manor, and whereas the Henderson County Fiscal Court endorses said proposed project, and whereas the county understands that the Community Development Block Grant program is a federally funded program, and whereas the Henderson County Fiscal Court is eligible to apply for assistance through the Community Development Block Grant Recovery Kentucky program. Now therefore be resolved by the Henderson County Fiscal Court that the judge executive and the successors in title are hereby authorized to execute and submit an application through the Department for Local Government with such assurances and required supporting data as is necessary to apply for funding assistance through the Community Development Block Grant Recovery program for the proposed services.
Need a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Hunter. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just for the court's information, one of my responsibilities is to appoint members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and that is a body that takes appeals when someone might disagree with their PVA valuation of their property. That typically happens in June. The deadline for appealing the valuation of your property, I believe, is the 20th of May, so the board meets once a year to review those if there are any. And we have a vacancy. Tina Weiland is rolling off, and Jim Collier, eminently, I think, qualified to handle this, has agreed to serve, and I'm appointing him to the Board of Assessment Appeals. Next, we have President Hannah Hudson from the Holloway Hills Homeowners Association, who has a request to replace some county street signs with something that the Homeowners Association feels might be more appropriate. So you have in your packet, I think, a photograph of what they are talking about. So, Hannah, I'll turn it over to you.
I'm going to actually turn it over to Paula, because she's kind of been on the head person on this, so she's going to do the speaking.
Can you, for the record, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Paula Garrett.
Gotcha.
I'm Secretary Treasurer. And we started talking about how to improve the aesthetics of our subdivision, because we consider ourselves one of the best subdivisions in Henderson County. And in an effort to do that, we removed our concrete cul-de-sac signs, because they were, back from the 90s, they'd been hit by mowers. They were in very bad shape. And then we started thinking, we had another member of our committee mention that her neighborhood in Bowling Green had these beautiful combination stop sign, street signs. And she said, why don't we do something like that? And so she went to that subdivision, gave us a name of the company that they used, and we started building an idea and getting a quote of what it would be like to put new street signs in. And because of the speed with some of our hills, people get in and as they're driving in the subdivision, they don't really adhere to the 20-mile-an-hour subdivision signs. We thought, let's put a few slow children at play or slow signs just to remind everybody you are in a subdivision, you need to slow down, because we do have quite a few families that have moved into the subdivision that have small children and are out playing. So anyway, that's why we are here. We have collected assessments each year to build up our account in order to make these improvements. We've already improved our front sign with a beautiful stone sign, and it's lit, and we've done the landscaping around it, and now we'd like to, like I said, part of it was removing those concrete signs, and now we would like to, get the approval to update our street signs.
I believe Nick has reviewed this, Nick Stallings, and they fit our codes, our requirements, the street signs.
We need to put that together.
Well, can you come up and
One of the reasons that I had them come here is so that way we can make groundwork for this. So that way we don't have subdivisions go rogue and just put up what they want, right? So this is obviously a point to where we can say everything's got to match the uniform traffic control devices, which we call MUTCD. That is the same throughout the United States. Every road is designed as either freeway, interstate, a small city road, a small county road, or what it is, U.S. highway. With those come standards about where the sign should be placed, how high it is, if it's rural, urban, or whatever, right? So with this, coming to court, we can set some type of precedence to say, this is what we want our signs to be. So with that, what I recommend the court to approve is that the signs go up, but they got to match the MUTCD, which they give me the all the distance is going to be from the road, how high it's going to be. I can match that with the ADT of the road, which is the average daily traffic of the road. That also signifies what type of road needs to be, how high the sign needs to be. So with that, I can approve that. And also, as a county, is we need to do something as far as continual maintenance. Okay, as a county, what we do is we put up U-channel posts back on all of our signs. So if this was to get hit by a mower or by an errant car, hits this and damages it, us as a county will replace it with just a normal U-channel sign post and a stop sign. It will be the responsibility of the homeowner association to replace it back to its original condition, which is this. So what we need to make sure is that I have a chance to review it, that we have the proper sign size. Also, with the road signs the name signs are also going to be standardized because part of that grant that I received, we're going to do that through the whole entire county. So we don't want the subdivision to be different. So there are standards that got to be followed with how big the lettering's got to be and how the words are actually written. One thing that I hate to be, but I got to be, is the bearer of bad news with the slow children to play sign. That has been a problem. That has been something that's brought up throughout transportation, through the federal, through the state, through the counties. They're no longer a sign allowed to be put up. The reason is because they don't tell anybody anything. Sign pollution is a problem that we're trying to get rid of, right? You have signs everywhere. Sooner or later, you're like, yeah, it's another sign, another sign, another sign, right? Go through a road work sign, go through a road construction sign. It's like detour, detour. You know what I mean? You just become complacent to those signs. So the problem with the slow children to play sign is it doesn't tell anybody anything. Now, because a road is not a place for children to play at, and if we put children to play signs on this road, does that mean that people over here don't love their children? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So what that is that's a point to say what? There are signs that says deaf child. There are signs that says, those are actually signs that are in the MUTCD book allowed to be put up. But these really don't have a designation for the drivers besides a speed limit sign. That's a regulatory sign. It's got a white background. That's what the boys in blue are able to stop people for, right? So if we've got to stop these, then then this is the point to put that in together.
Yeah. Hannah, does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
We totally understand that.
And if are there speed limit
Just
signs in
one.
this one?
So we might want to put a second speed sign. I don't know, is that too many in a subdivision?
Typically, they start as soon as you enter subdivision, and that designates the speed through the whole subdivision. Right. Unless something warrants a change, then you'll put a new sign up. But if not, once you enter subdivision, then that lets the drivers know, hey, it's 35 miles an hour, hey, it's 25 miles an hour for the rest of the subdivision. Because as a driver, as a driver of a vehicle, once you see a stop sign, you assume that's a stop. I mean, once you see a speed limit sign, you assume that's a speed limit until it changes, unless otherwise noted. Then you've got to change your speed.
I'd like to suggest this to the court, entertain a motion to approve or disapprove. But if we approve, pending review by our county engineer and the application of whatever national, federal, state guidelines should apply, and then the homeowners association would follow those instructions. And that's a precedent I think fairly easy to follow.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason we brought up here, not necessarily that that's crazy, but it's just that way we can put something in line. So my guys or me or somebody don't drive down and see somebody put up a green stop sign because it looks better than red.
Right.
We got to have something that everybody in the whole United States can drive down and know what it means.
And that sounds funny, but somebody will do it.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I've got pictures of blue stop signs because they look better than red. So it's something you got to be able to.
And that brings me to a question. So is the idea that the homeowners association is going to be the one doing the labor, or is the county going to supervise the placement of these?
Yes, we will supervise, the distance off the edge of the road and the height of the signs.
Okay, because I know there are guidelines for that.
That can be done, but as far as doing the actual post and that kind of thing will be the HOA's responsibility.
Okay.
And that way, we're not giving unfair treatment to them versus somebody else putting a U-channel post up.
Yeah.
We got a standard that we maintain that is passed by the state. We can maintain a certain channel post with the signs. That's what we do, go throughout everywhere. And then if they want something else, then that's at their cost.
And everyone will understand, bringing it back, and just in case you need to fix one to that design, will be on the HOA's.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'd suggest, gentlemen.
I move that we allow them to follow up with Nick and pursue the signpost post.
Based on his approval.
Yes.
And following the standards and regulations.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second. Can I ask just a quick question? Are these designed to break away if they are hit? Do they meet safety standards as far as?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It'll be a repair, that's for sure.
Right, right.
Significant repair,
But it actually sounds like it may be safer than what was there before if it was just a piece of concrete, or?
yeah.
Big piece of concrete.
Okay. Well, and then I think that's a move in the right direction, so, in addition to aesthetics.
Any other questions? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good luck. Thank you. Thank you, Nick. We have 2 budget amendments to follow through on. I'll let Brenda take care of the batting order for those 2 things.
This is the second reading of Budget Amendment Number 7 for the current fiscal year. The total amendment is $1 million, amending into the budget prior year surplus funds of the general fund $1 million with corresponding expenditures of the general fund contingency appropriations. This is necessary for the future transfers as needed for the 2025 flood assistance.
I'll make a couple comments about this. We are going to go ahead and amend this in. We are encountering some significant questions on what we can use the money for exactly from state and other sources. We don't want to get afoul of that, so we're continuing to research that to make sure we do the right thing. And that is frustrating. However, we're doing the best we can to both help in the ways we can and not run afoul of
Prison.
auditor's office or state law. And quite honestly, with the discussion going on in Washington now about the future of FEMA and FEMA funds, I am beginning to operate on the idea that we're not going to get any kind of FEMA assistance for this. And that's unfortunate, but it's been a month and a half waiting for a presidential declaration of disaster. And there are 13 counties who were added as an additional list of counties to be subject to a presidential declaration. And we are still waiting. And if you followed the debate in D.C. about the future of FEMA, it does not look great. So that makes figuring out what we can do to help our citizens in lieu of those funds even more important. So just stay tuned on all that, and we're going to go as fast as we can to figure out what we can or cannot do with this money. Is everybody, any questions about that?
I know you've worked diligently on this and have made the powers that be in Washington, trying to understand what our need, and I appreciate everything you've done.
Not
to promote
diligently
this.
enough.
Well,
we're trying to go fast, and sometimes that's just really hard.
Right.
So the good news is, in the meantime, both United Way, which is administering flood relief fund, has received well over $25,000 in donations. So, and they're ready to push that money out. They are vetting applications for assistance with that money. So there is aid going out to victims of the flood, and we appreciate the organizations and individuals who've donated this money. There are copious amounts now of supplies, clothes, toiletries, cleaning items available to victims of the flood at organizations like For Good Community and the Salvation Army and the Red Cross. So that is good news. I think where most people sit now, if their house was hit hard by the flood, is that they're still cleaning up, figuring how to clean up. If they didn't have flood insurance, how they're going to manage that. Also, we still have some people who are in temporary housing, and some of their aid in paying for temporary housing may end soon, thus the word temporary. And whether that jibes up with whether they're going to have a place to stay when that's done. There are state resources for that, but again, there are well over 24 counties impacted by that, and the state's ability to handle it, minus FEMA resources, is in question. So stay tuned on all that, and I appreciate it, but that Magistrate Starks, but a lot of people are working on this, obviously, besides us. And I will give a huge bit of kudos to our road department, and then our solid waste department has been so helpful to people with continuing to post disposal dumpsters out at Reed and Beals. It's really been helpful to them, and we'll continue to do that until it's obvious the need's no longer there. So, with that, we have a amendment to vote on. So, do we have a motion and a second to approve the amendment to the budget?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
This is the second reading of Budget Amendment Number 8 for the current fiscal year. Total of this amendment is $3 million, amending into the budget prior year surplus funds of the general fund $3 million with corresponding expenditures of distributions to other government agencies. This is necessary for the Henderson County Water Department water loss project as discussed in recent meetings.
I'll make a couple comments on that. If you remember, the plan submitted to us, I think at the last fiscal court meeting or the one before, where the plan was divided into 3 phases. The first one beginning as soon as possible. The second one hopefully beginning in January or February based on the success of the first phase, and then the final phase several months after that to check and monitor all the repairs that they've made. At the next fiscal court meeting, I'm going to propose that we shift $1.5 million of this $3 million over to the water district so they can begin phase 1. When they complete phase 1, hopefully about January or February, they'll come back and I think give us advice on how the progress they've made, when in fact they're going to be giving us monthly reports. Actually, I should say that. All during phase 1, they'll be giving us monthly reports. When they're prepared to start phase 2, then we can vote on giving them the rest of the $3 million, another 1.5. So, but I'll be bringing that back next fiscal court meeting. In the meantime, we have to amend it into our budget. So, entertain a motion to amend that money.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions about that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We are at the point now in the ongoing saga of the airport runway project, which I think was first mentioned back in 2016 when I was appointed judge. But we are at the point where we're ready to formally apply for 2 major grants that will help. They are in your packet, and the airport consultant now, Alan Bennett, who's going to be overseeing these projects, is with us. And as I understand it, Alan, these are 2 of the 3 major grants that you've applied for and indicated you're going to receive.
They are.
AIG, and I don't know what that stands for.
It actually came out of BIL funds.
Which I don't know what that stands for.
Bipartisan infrastructure law. That pool of monies has since been renamed as AIG. We have banked our yearly contributions at the Memphis Airport District office, and we now have this amount of money available to us, which is one of the grants in front of you today.
Yeah.
And then the community grant, it was appropriated via earmark in Congress last session in a funding bill, and then handed to the FAA for distribution in the form of grants. Steve received a draft, as did Dawn, and of both of these grants, and then we would expect that release would be fairly shortly. We're asking that you be authorized as a signatory with Steve attesting your signature for the completion of these grants.
The first one we're going to be voting on is the AIG grant. It's the smaller of the 2 grants. This is in the amount of $925,797. This does involve a local match.
It does.
And I think the city and the county will each be responsible for a little over $12,000. Is that correct?
That sounds right. It
Yeah.
was 1.25% to each.
Yeah.
Normally, we get our grants as a 90-10, This one came 95.5.
Right.
So that's 2.5 state, 1.25
Right.
to each.
I believe that amounts a little over $12,000
I think
each
that's
for the
right.
city and county. And we agreed, I think more than 2 years ago, to handle whatever local matches we were going to have on the overall project. At the time, we said we would tap coal severance funds if we needed to. We have a couple other choices now about where we can get that money if we want to, but the agreement to provide the local match was made by the court, again, more than a couple years ago. The second grant in your packet is a community development block grant that is a larger amount. And if you don't mind, Alan, I'll find that amount.
7.4 million roughly.
11.44946. That will also involve some local match, I think, and this would be on the order of 120,000 each, city and county, somewhere in that neighborhood.
That sounds right. It's
Yeah.
still at the 1.25%.
Right. Leaving one more grant to formally apply for, and you'll let us know when that time is right.
The SF 424s are in, and we would expect release on that AIP grant. It's in the amount of 498,000, I think. We would expect release on that before too long.
We already made the application. Yeah, I think I remember doing that earlier this year, so. Again, I think the initial round number we talked about a few years ago was somewhere in the order of $330,000. It would perhaps add up to, on our end, it's going to come in lower than that, I think, maybe a little lower.
It is going to come in lower for you and the city
Yeah.
than forecast.
Yeah.
I think the additional that we discussed at the joint funding session was right around 100,000, but it brought you guys in at 1.9% of total.
Yeah.
As the city is also in for 1.9% of
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
So
Alan, do you foresee this all being enough money, given the cost and inflation and everything going up?
we've got hard bids in place, Butch,
Okay.
from a local contractor, and we're hopeful that these grants come out in time that we'll be able to execute while those numbers are firm. They had to hold their numbers for us for 60 days.
Great.
And we're still in that 60 days.
Great.
So we would anticipate a notice of award here before too long, and then the bonds and the actual contract signing after the grant becomes active.
That's great. Thank you, Alan.
And Judge, just to clarify, I don't believe it's actually a community development block grant. I believe it's a Consolidation Appropriations Act community project funding.
Thanks for that correction. We'll read the resolution on the AIG grant first. I think it's important to get in the record the percentages of match, so if you don't mind reading this entire resolution. It's only one page and a little, so if you don't mind.
A joint resolution of the Henderson County Fiscal Court and the City of Henderson, Kentucky, authorized an application for and acceptance of funding under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, Airport Infrastructure Grant Program for a runway extension project, and designating and authorizing the Henderson County Judge Executive and the Mayor to execute all necessary documents. Whereas the United States Congress has passed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which provides federal funding opportunities for critical infrastructure improvements, including airport development projects. And whereas the Airport Infrastructure Grant Program under the IIJA offers financial assistance to eligible airports for safety, capacity, and operational improvements. And whereas the Henderson City County Airport has identified the need for a runway extension project to support increased air traffic, enhance safety, and improve overall airport operations. And whereas the Henderson County Fiscal Court and the City of Henderson desires to apply as co-sponsors and accept grant funding under the AIG program to assist with the costs of the proposed runway extension project for the Henderson City County Airport. And whereas the city, the county, and the Commonwealth of Kentucky have agreed jointly to provide the non-federal matching funds required under the terms of the grant as follows: 125 1/100%, 1.25% by the county, 1.25%, 1.25% by the city, and 2.5% by the Commonwealth of Kentucky for a total match of 5% of the total project costs. Whereas it is necessary to designate official representation to execute and submit all necessary grant documents and agreements associated with the grant application and potential award. Now therefore be it resolved by the Henderson County Fiscal Court and the City of Henderson as co-sponsors with the Henderson County Fiscal Court hereby authorizes submission of an application for funding for the Federal Aviation Administration under the AIG program for the runway extension project. And in the event the grant is awarded, the Henderson County Fiscal Court and the City of Henderson, Kentucky agree to accept the grant funds through the Henderson City County Airport and comply with all of applicable federal and state requirements, regulations, and assurances. Now therefore be it further resolved that the Henderson County Judge Executive and the Mayor of the City of Henderson, Kentucky are hereby designated and authorized to execute, including by electronic signatures, on behalf of Henderson County Fiscal Court and the City of Henderson, all applications, grant agreements, certifications, reports, and other necessary documents associated with the AIG funding, including any amendments or modifications thereto without further action by the Henderson County Fiscal Court and/or the City of Henderson Board of Commissioners.
And Alan, I believe the math works out where the match on that is $12,182 for the city and $12,182 for the county, right? Okay.
Any other questions? Entertain a
Move
motion.
to approve.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, if everybody has reviewed the percentages on the next grant, familiar with those, we can read the summary of the next one if you want to. The language is very similar.
Sounds good.
Summary, please.
You want to read the summary?
A joint resolution of the Henderson County Fiscal Court and the City of Henderson, Kentucky authorized an application for an acceptance of funding under the Community Project Funding through the fiscal year 2024 Congressional Consolidated Appropriations Act for a runway extension project and is designating and authorizing the Henderson County Judge Executive and the Mayor to execute all necessary documents.
Any questions?
I believe the math on this one works out to $150,592 per entity.
Move to approve.
May I have a motion and a second? Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you. Godspeed.
Yeah, thanks, Alan.
Thank you, Alan.
And thank you to City Attorney Dawn Kelsey for all of her work. that
Thank you,
she did
Dawn.
on that for both entities.
We have a resolution declaring some surplus property identified by the Sheriff's Office, County Attorney's Office, and from the IT Department. If you've looked over that list, might have any questions, any comments Deputy Judge Weeson would like to offer on those.
You got the list.
Any questions? We'll read the resolution.
A resolution declaring certain county property to be surplus and providing for the disposition thereof. Whereas the Henderson Fiscal Court is the owner of certain personal property that was used by several Henderson County departments and is no longer of use to any Henderson County departments. Whereas pursuant to KRS 67.0802, the Fiscal Court finds that it is in the best interest of the county to deem the property as surplus and provide for the disposition thereof. Whereas the Henderson Fiscal Court wishes to offer said personal property to be sold by public auction in accordance with the law, transferred to another eligible agency, or disposed of as scrap at the discretion of the Henderson County Judge Executive. Now therefore be it resolved by the Fiscal Court, County of Henderson, Kentucky as follows. Pursuant to KRS 67.0802, the personal property on the list attached hereto and incorporated herein is hereby declared to be surplus. It shall be sold at a duly advertised public or online auction pursuant to all applicable laws at such time and place and in such a manner as be arranged by the County Judge Executive, transferred to another eligible agency, or disposed of as scrap. The County Judge Executive or his designee is hereby authorized to make said arrangements.
Motion?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? As we mentioned earlier, we are still working on a funding agreement with the United Way for flood relief, and so we're going to be not going to be able to do that today. But we will move on to an update on our repairs of Green River Road number 1.
We're
And
going to scratch that, too. That's scratched also.
okay. Not there yet. Nick Stallings, our engineer, does have a request for a recycling vehicle. It's been budgeted. It will be purchased off.
I also got a bid request for a salt auction, too.
Okay.
Last minute, you know.
State contract, the pickup would be purchased by state contract. It is budgeted, so just want to let you know, Nick wanted to let you know they were looking into that. Any other questions about that? Vehicle is budgeted, and again, this is for the recycling center. But we'll also turn it over to you if you want to talk about the salt auction.
Yeah, every year, since our needs are fairly small, you know, between 250 to 300 tons, we don't have a big need to get some good numbers. So a lot of the counties like that throughout the state, that's why we jump on this CAECO, auction. That way they can, we can kind of get better numbers, which, this year we got fairly decent numbers. I'm gonna fill the dome up, but we obviously have winners. So this will put us in place for next fiscal year to get salt.
And we have obviously a budget for salt.
Yes.
And hopefully this falls within that budget number. Any other questions? Get motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good luck with that.
Thank you, Nick.
Now is our coroner's monthly report, but before you start in, Sheila, I'd like to bring the court's attention to something. At a recent meeting of the Kentucky State Coroners Association, our Sheila Patterson, interim coroner, was awarded the Master Coroner designation, the highest level of achievement at the State Coroners Association. And let me describe what it takes to get a Master Coroner qualification. You must have at least 12 years' experience. Sheila has 17. You must have completed 300 postmortem examinations, and Sheila has 420 as of the date of the application.
Wow.
She's been a member of the association for 16 years. The minimum requirement was 8. And has attended conferences and got continuing education to support the designation. And I'm not certain, but are you perhaps the first female to ever get a Master Coroner designation by the state? No. One of the few, I would say. I would like to have you join me in front. Well, I'm going to honor you with this amazing feat.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Madam.
Congratulations, Sheila.
Thank you. I
With
think
that,
I'm the
we'll
first-
get into the more mundane stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm the first person that's ever gotten any kind of designation from the Coroners Association in Henderson County.
Congratulations.
There you go, first.
Well deserved.
Make us proud.
I'm trying. I'm trying. You have a copy of our monthly report. We have had a total of 11 deaths for the month of April. All of those were natural deaths. Didn't have any accidental deaths. And 5 of those ended up being cremations. We signed for cremations over and above what our corner calls, and we had 13 of those. We've not had any gunshot wounds or any of that, those other violent injuries this month, or this past month. Are there any questions?
We appreciate your work.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
That's your another.
I hope you find a prominent place for that plaque. It's a big deal. In your packet, gentlemen, is the monthly sheriff's reports. I'm sure Sheriff Stoffer might have a comment.
No, I don't. Other than it was Nick's fault.
Yeah.
That was preemptive.
You've worked here long enough, you should know about Nick Stolly.
I should. You're exactly right. Lesson learned today.
Re-emphasized.
Yes.
These are the usual monthly reports. Any questions about those?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, Sheriff Stoffer.
Thank you, Chip.
Thank you for your insight and very lucid descriptions of your monthly reports. I appreciate it.
Just keeping you on your toes.
Mr. Gold, your reports.
All right, Judge, I've got several checks today. The first is several interest checks, one in the amount of $86.30 and $79.69. Child support county budget reimbursement, $3,745.26. More interest, $262.63, $86.31, $79.62, and a flow through from the city, $458.33, bringing today's total to $4,798.14, and bringing the fiscal year total to date $234,783.82. And I always give this to Miss Anna, and she's going to give it to you. She's told me she's never had almost $5,000, and I always say that it's just like being an adult. You get it, and you turn around, and you have to hand it to government. So it's a life lesson.
Thank you, Anna. Appreciate that very much. Motion to approve the county attorney payments?
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Treasurer Ryder, we have some potential fund transfers and claims.
There are no transfers. I do have claims. From the general fund to Lowe's, $2,824.07. The majority of this is for 3 generators and warranties and is to come from the EMA supplies appropriation line. To Brent Jacobs, $1,539.77. This is reimbursement of IT expenses and IT travel, the majority coming from IT services appropriation line. To the Henderson County Master Commissioner, $850. This is for a pre-sale deposit required for foreclosure on a property and is to come from the demolition and tax sales appropriation line. From the road fund to Danco Construction, $8,372.70. This is for the April invoice for the construction of the restrooms at Sandy Lee Watkins Park. From the jail fund to Advanced Document Solutions, $830.50. This is for copier agreement and is to come from the communication equipment appropriation line. To U.S. Bank, which is the credit card, $3,288.15. The majority of this is for communication equipment and is to come from the contracted services, other equipment, repairs and maintenance appropriation lines.
Judge, I'd move we pay the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go to the county. Does anybody in the audience like to say anything for go to the county? Feel free to come to the mic. With no takers, we'll go around the horn quickly here. We have an executive session to cover, but Master Southern?
Congratulations, Anna. It's a big deal to get picked from the high school. There's a lot of people out there, and they picked you. That says a lot. And they said you're a cross-country runner? That says a lot. I can't hardly come up the steps out here. So. Just keep doing what you're doing, because you looks like you're going to be in his seat before long. Maybe he'll be sitting where you're at. Lots of rain. I mean, it's wet everywhere. Our ditches ought to be cleaned out. So hopefully it'll ease up on us a little, and we get in the fields. The farmer's going to be frantic when it does dry up. So please be patient with us. And other than the rain, all's good in District 3.
Thank you. Master Tompkins?
Congratulations, young lady. It's good that you've come this far and do good things. It's going to be important that you continue that and understand that it's going to get harder a lot of days. But keep that work ethic to where it is and you'll be just fine. So proud of you. Glad to have good young people like you, and we do hope that you come back to Henderson one day, because we need people like you to make our town even better all the time. So enjoy your lunch, and other than being wet, I think we're okay in District 2, Judge.
Thank you. Master Putman?
Thank you, Judge. And I'm kind of speechless at this point after that introduction. I mean, you obviously are an amazing, amazing young lady. I would echo the same sentiments. Keep on with the keeping on. I think you're probably going to be very successful, and I do hope you come back to Henderson County, someday. And we're going to continue to grow, so we think there's going to be plenty of opportunities. But you said you want to be a lawyer, so I'm just kidding.
The quicker we can get her through law school, the better. I'm hiring right now, and she'd be perfect.
But anyway, congratulations. You're an exceptional lady. And Judge Osgood in the fourth.
Mr. Gold?
Again, congratulations, Anna. I've had the opportunity to see her run cross-country and yell and clap for her, and it's also a great opportunity today to clap for you and all the other great things that you've done. So congratulations. Henderson County is one of the biggest high schools in the state, and to be singled out as the one is a huge deal. So congratulations, and very, very proud to see all the accomplishments and to look forward to all the accomplishments you're going to have. The idea of going into law and coming back to a small town, a lot of people aren't doing that anymore. So I really encourage you to do that. It's the smaller town practice of law is dying. And the good news about that is that for somebody that is committed and knows what they want to do, it provides a great opportunity. So we really hope you do consider coming back to Henderson, although people go off to their law school towns and they love those towns and want to go there, but there's a lot to be done here, especially somebody that's got a passion for juvenile law and elder law like yourself. So those are real growth opportunities there and very fulfilling work. So again, if we can just get you through law school in a few weeks, we'd love to have you start as soon as possible. But seriously, anytime you do want to come and shadow folks at our office, go over to court, you're welcome to do that. It would be a great thing. And then you might run screaming and say, I don't want to go to law school. No, it can be a great career. Glad that you, at your age, you know what you want to do. So many people don't. So everything's good in the county attorney's office. Would ask for continued prayers for our assistant county attorney who recently had a pretty serious surgery. But other than that, things are good.
Thank you, Steve. Master Berry?
Thank you, Judge. Thank everybody for attending court today. Congratulations, Anna. Thank your parents and educators being here. We like that. You're going to do well, no doubt. Now, the judge wouldn't let you vote, correct? But I'm going to have you make a decision here. Where are you going to eat lunch? That's a tough one.
Oh, we already decided that we're going
Oh.
to Lions Club. Oh, that's right. He does that every now and then. That's true. Well, that's good. They have good lunch over there, I'm sure. So anyway, you didn't get to vote, but you got to make a decision, and we're glad to have you, and you're going to do good things. And we're looking forward to having you back in Henderson. So, okay. I think everything's good, and well, no, not everything's not good in one. Let me rephrase that. Flood victims, boy, it was bad, wasn't it? Still got a long road to hoe or a lot of work to do, but hopefully it's coming along, and we can get the money figured out how we can help out there. So I know you're working on it, and we appreciate that very kindly. So we're good in one as we can be. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Magistrate Stark.
Thank you, Judge, and just like Keith said, thanks everybody for being here today, and especially Anna. What a well-rounded individual. I mean, a lady of science, but also is studying law, and then in her spare time, I know long distance running takes a lot of commitment and dedication, and then all the other things that I'm sure you've been involved in. So again, just like Steve mentioned, it's great to see young people already focused in and laser focused on what their future is and what they want to do even after that to come back and make their community better. And so certainly commend you and inspired by you. Thank you so much. If you want to get inspired, if you're feeling kind of down, I would encourage you to get out and in some way get involved with our high school with extracurriculars or just volunteering in the classroom. I had the unique opportunity just recently to, an honor really, to help out the choir director, Miss Laura Staffeld and her staff putting on their spring musical, The Addams Family, just about a week or so ago. And I just have to tell you, that was such an uplifting experience. So many young people, all different grade levels, working their hearts out, and long nights, even after being in school all day, and then turning around and going back to school early the next morning, and then coming back and rehearsing again the next night. A lot of dedication, and it turned out to be a really fun and entertaining show. They sang their hearts out, and they danced. It was at the Fine Arts Center, which is great to expose our young people to that venue. So with that said, I just give them a lot of kudos. And again, it does good things for yourself when you volunteer for those types of things. I had the opportunity to actually walk through the park to get to this meeting this morning, and I was thinking how lucky we are to have a courthouse that's surrounded by a public space like that. And what's happening out there right now, I can tell you, are the crosses going up in preparation for Memorial Day. And guess who was out there helping? The ladies from the Warm Center, which we just helped out with their grant a little bit ago. Basically paperwork, but still, it's necessary. And they were actually putting patriotic floral decorations around the trees, which I don't think I've seen that done before. It's absolutely breathtaking. So check that out on the way out, or when you're downtown, come through the park. And they were getting help by our middle school students again. So that was great to see. The American Legion's out there right now directing the traffic, getting everything ready. And so looking forward to another great Memorial Day service and really encourage folks to be a part of that. I know I'm being a little long-winded here today, but just like Tim said, be safe on the highways. Give our farmers a break. They have a lot of very expensive and very big equipment in some very narrow places. I've driven some county roads lately, especially out in your district, Keith, and I appreciate how important it is, Nick, and our road department, and what a great job they're doing to keep our roads in good shape for everybody, but especially our growers. And they are going to be in overdrive once this weather breaks, and so just be extra safe, extra careful, and extra patient when you see those big pieces of machinery. And also be careful on 60 right now, especially in the construction zone. We've got, I think, a one lane of 60 now open with alternating traffic lights. And obey those speed limits, please, still in the construction zone. I know it's been a long time. They're working as fast as they can. They've made a great deal of progress. I've never thought I'd see the open spaces like I've seen where there used to be overpasses, a lot of cars coming around the exit ramps, and they're putting up the sound walls. It's really transforming this community and will for years and years and years to come and make transportation that much better. But in the meantime, let's keep that speed down, be safe around everybody, and have a safe spring. And with that, I'll yield, and thank you, Judge. And everything else is good in the 5th.
Thank you, Anna. Congratulations. I look forward to hosting you and your family at Lions Club. I think you find that interesting. From one purple ace to another, I think you're going to really enjoy U of E. Do you have any thoughts of perhaps running cross country at U of E?
They asked me to, but I had hip surgery in December, so I'm still kind of feeling the waters.
We share that in common, too. I would keep an open mind about that because I think being on an athletic team in college is a unique experience and something that can enhance your time there. And I would, hopefully you recover 100%. And I'd do it if I were you. I'm just, unsolicited advice. But congratulations, and I look forward to lunch. And thank you, Mr. Klaus, for coming on out and helping celebrate Anna. I'd like everybody to keep the Comer family in your prayers. Had some difficult times with relative of our fiscal court clerk, so just keep that in mind. Summerfest is this weekend. Hope people get out and go to Summerfest downtown. Our Planning Commission Executive Director, Brian Bishop, and former State Representative Jonathan Dixon really work hard to put that on, and it's become a nice kind of kickoff to the festival season, the music scene each year, so congratulations to them. And I will reiterate that we're doing everything we can to help folks out who suffered from the flood. Last Wednesday, several volunteers, including Renisa Abner and Carrie from her office, joined me in surveying and canvassing up and down 811 and as well as Peters Road, just checking on people and seeing what they needed, seeing what their situation was. And it was eye-opening. As someone mentioned, they're going to be recovering from this some of them are going to be recovering from this from quite some time if they choose to live there at all anymore. It's very tough when you've gone through it a few times for some of these people, so please be thinking of them. Now I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.8101C, and this executive session shall be for the purpose of discussing proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of the public agency, the county. And there may be a vote after this executive session, but we're not certain yet.
Probably not, Judge.
Probably not? Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session, and after this is done, we'll adjourn. So pending any, the slight chance of a vote, we will just be leaving after this is over, so you don't have to sit and wait.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are in executive session. We will go into executive session in the back. I'll just meet you at the library just before noon. executive session?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor can leave.